Welcome to another episode of the My Workman uh, talk show. As always, yeah, with me, Danny, Cause, and with my co-host. And today, like
Marcus
always,
Samus.
we're looking at ways the Nigerian youth can engage themselves productively without doing anything illegal, ways they can learn something, maybe a skill that can fetch them money to change their life and to put them in a good spot without having to compromise their self. From our last episode, we're looking at 30 skills you can learn online, and this is from an article on Indeed. It was published earlier this year, around April 2022, and we've looked at some of the very basic skills you can uh, do from this list with like very minimum capital and very minimum funds skills you can do with your phone. And today we'll be looking at skills you can do with, like, if you have a sponsor, maybe if you have like somebody that can support your vision or a way to support yourself while you learn these skills. So basically, it's just everything that we did not cover the last time. We'll be looking at it today, and we'll see how far we can go. So, Marcus, uh, can you just run through some of the skills we'll be looking
Yeah.
at today?
So, like we discussed in our last section, we're discussing about low skills that require low income, low finance. And we spoke extensively on some of those skills that you can learn with just a smartphone. Today, we're going to go in a little bit deeper into other skills that you can also learn, other online skills. So today we'll be talking about coding, because coding is one. When people hear online skill, tech, coding comes to mind. So we'll be telling you what coding is about, things you can learn, what kind of coding language you should learn, where it fits in the society today. So we'll be telling you all those things, because from building a website to developing an app,
Uh,
it's all about coding. There are lots of online programs that makes it easy for people to start learning coding. Coding, different language, you just pick a language at a time and learn it. It's just like you're learning,
and
let's say English language, for
exactly.
instance. You
And
just learn the syntax
just
of
to
them
add,
and
coding is a skill.
you
Sorry
start
to cut you
going.
off, Marcus.
So
Coding is a skill that it keeps on producing. So once you learn how to code, there are just so many ways you can monetize your skill. You can market yourself. You can start a YouTube tutorial channel, and you can create online courses. You can do some work and people would pay you for it, and there are just so many ways you can go while coding. Yeah, you can continue.
yeah, and with the trend of the world now, with the way the world is going, coding is a generational thing. It transits from one generation to another. It's something that is progressive and is a really great asset to have as an individual
Exactly.
with this tech
Exactly. Just
generation
imagine
coming
every
on
child
board.
now growing up already knows how to
So
use a smartphone. Like, see some kids now, like 3-year-old kids, they already know how to use YouTube, use a smartphone, doing different things on it. And yeah,
yeah,
just imagine those generation now growing up when they're like when they become adults, like technology, phone, and all these things will become a part of their life. So you now, the earlier you start learning, the better for you, because once you get into the habit of coding, you start coding regularly, you start putting things out there. By the time this new generation start coming up, like you are the number one source for them, and by then, and the opportunities for coding is endless. Like everything, if you look around today, everywhere you turn
Yeah,
to,
it's so
every
vast.
aspect of our lives, there's always like there's an electronic device there, the laptop, the phones, like there's something that has to do with computer that we all interact with every day. And imagine that the people who created Facebook, Twitter, and all this, like you can see on the top list of billionaires in the world. Like if you check on the top billionaires in the world now, I think maybe like the first five of them are tech related billionaires. I'm not so sure, but yeah, you could check
Tech
it out.
guys.
And I think I checked a while back, but that's just what how powerful coding is. And with code, you just need to make something once. Like you just need to write the app or create the website once, and millions of people can interact with it every day. Millions of people can use it every day. So yeah, what's your take on it?
Yeah, so coding is really
Hello,
is a
Marcus.
very interesting thing to know, to learn. I'm with
Hello.
you. Coding is very interesting to learn. I just need coding.
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, I was saying coding is a very interesting thing and is something, excuse me, it's something that is so vast, and we can look at our surrounding today from every single thing we use, from every
Mm,
single thing we want to use.
exactly.
There's an element of coding in it,
Yes.
from the healthcare to
Mm,
the agricultural level. Everything coding is
exactly.
involved. So it's a very is an
It's a
asset
very
to have.
great
If you have the
asset.
knowledge of coding, is a
Yeah.
very great asset that you can use. And one other important thing you need to know is that if you are coding, you can be easily you can
Mm,
easily synchronize into any
mm,
system, like into any workforce, like because the world has evolved to that level right now, and every establishment is
understand that
looking for people
coding.
that understands coding. We are using coding because everything you are doing, the word for it is coding. So I need you guys to understand, when you're talking of web programming, when you're talking of apps
Yeah.
development, everything is coding. So from time to time, we'll start giving people lectures. We'll start talking about
I
different
understand.
coding and applications that you can learn,
Yeah,
different
we
languages that you
also
can learn, different things that you can work
exactly
on,
we also plan
different
on
areas you
inviting
can go into.
some professional coders to speak on this topic more in the future. So,
Yeah,
are some of the yes, and
to
enlighten us
probably encourage us,
exactly. So, what are
encourage.
some of the challenges someone
Um,
can face as a beginner coder? Like, if you are just getting
as a
started, what's
beginner,
okay?
one
Let's look
of
at some of the equipment. Uh, for now, I believe if you want to be a coder, and depending on the area of coding that you want to pursue, uh, right now the lowest area of entry or the cheapest area of entry right now is for web programming. Yeah, web development. So It's one of the
Development,
easiest
yeah.
area of
Web
coding for you to
programming.
get started, and you can start. You still need like a good laptop to get started, so maybe within the range of like 75,000 laptop, I think. Between that range, yeah, should be enough for you to get started.
Yeah,
And
just
maybe as time progresses, if you want to do app development, game development, then hardware programming, so maybe by then you are now getting more funds and stuff like that. Also hacking too. Yeah, exactly.
you
So
get
yeah, so for coding now, yeah, that's one of the ways you can get started uh, using get started coding. You can do you just get that laptop, like, or if you are serious about getting started. Then also uh some other things now as a coder that you need to know. Basically, the cost of internet subscription. So you have to budget towards that too. Like you have to get good internet. Uh, you have to like be able to fund your internet subscription too. So we're just listing some of the expenses or some of the things that it will cost you to get started as a professional coder. Yeah, Marcus, you have something to add?
prof- yeah, those are like the basic thing you need to get started. You just need a laptop, your phone for support, data to just maybe watch videos, check up things online while you're on stuff. So basically, you just need your laptop,
Yes,
an internet connection,
exactly.
and then you're
So,
good to go.
getting jobs as a coder, that was one area people don't talk about so much, but it's really not a very easy thing. But most times, once you get that first job, it's actually like boosts your resume and pushes you forward more and more. So as a coder now, uh, if you have one thing I would advise is if you can get like a network of friends of other people who are also coding, so that maybe when it's time for you to get a job and all that, you can relate with them in a way so that they can at least help you out to get that first job. Because after you get that first job as a coder, I think it's mostly easy to progress or move forward and get more jobs coming in. So, is there anything else we can add on this?
Yeah,
Or let's, yeah.
I think
So,
that's the basics. That's
apologies
the
anyone
basics.
that's
Yeah,
listening to this. We don't have so much opinions on coding. We can't really tell you everything you need to know. We plan on bringing somebody to speak on this later in future. But for now, this is just the basic we can cover in this area.
but
Yeah, this is just the
yeah,
basic.
this is the basic you need for now. But in time, we'll
Yeah,
get
exactly.
professionals and other experts to come
Exactly.
and lecture
So let's look at
or give
some
their own
let's look at some other skills
opinions
now.
about these things.
Adobe Photoshop skills. So let's talk about Adobe Photoshop. Uh, what do you think about Photoshop skills and the the use of Photoshop? Have you used Photoshop before?
Yeah, I've used it. One of the is a very interesting and
Hmm.
is a very interesting thing to work with. image editing, retouching of photos, and all these things. It's something that gets you excited when you are walking around this kind of things, and it's a very useful skill because today we have people. One thing about this Photoshop skill is that you don't need to be a photographer, like a professional photographer snapping mad pictures to actually use these stuffs. You can just be a photo editor and then you start making money from just doing that, manipulating graphics, manipulating images, which will get you excited and you make money from doing what you like. And you need what you need from this also is a laptop. Laptop is very essential in the tech world, so a laptop is one of the is what you will need mostly, and then your subscription also. Why we are emphasizing on this subscription is because this your normal data, your data subscription is you need to learn
Source that you can
from
find.
every possible area you can, from every possible source you can find. So surfing the internet is one way you can learn faster and one way you can solve problems that you might encounter in these feeds. And so when you encounter a problem, you just go straight, check online and solve that problem. When you are learning, you learn from multiple sources, from YouTube, from other educational
That's why data is
websites.
very, very important.
So that's
Like
what that's
for
the
any online skill
is
that you want
important.
to pursue or go after, like data is like very important. We can't state this. We can't state this enough.
Very
Like
important.
yes, before you
Emphasize
consider
this
anything
enough.
online, you have to like, okay, how do I get data? How do you ensure that okay, your data for learning these skills is constant? So in Photoshop or Adobe Photoshop skills, me myself I've not really used Adobe Photoshop, so I can't really say much on this, but I believe most of these graphics you see on these websites and uh, flyers for church and stuff like that, so they are mostly done using Adobe Photoshop, and you just have to like pick a design that you want to work on and just get to it and just start creating content, start doing something. So for Adobe Photoshop, if you are interested in that area, so you should definitely take a look at it. Some of the challenges that you may encounter if you want to get started is the quality of laptop and the cost of the software. But I think there are crack versions of Adobe Photoshop out there that you can so if you want to go that route, there are crack versions of Photoshop software that you can buy. So that you can download from various platforms. So moving forward, do you still want to dwell on this? Is there any other area that we have not covered on Adobe Photoshop? Okay.
No.
What other graphic design also falls under Adobe Photoshop? So if you are wondering, we're just going through this article and picking out some other things that you might learn as a skill to further improve yourself, and that's just what we're doing right now. And the programming language is also one of them: cloud computing, human resource. In this Adobe Photoshop and graphic design, I also want to talk about this new, not really new, but there's in the NFT world. So, like crypto technology, blockchain technology.
Yeah.
So, using being able to use Adobe Photoshop and graphic design is an essential skill in the NFT world. So, like if you want to be very good with like in NFT land, so you can create an NFT using Adobe Photoshop and get something out there, and people can buy your project. I think at the height of the crypto market, there was a Nigerian that made some NFTs, and I think it was a copper. I don't know if you heard that story. So, so, but
No, no.
those are some ways you can make money using Adobe Photoshop and your graphic design skills. You can get commission to create art and also to like do your own art projects and uploads online. So, what other skills can we look at here on this list? Are there any? Yeah, are there anyone you can see now? But I think we've
Le-
gone through some of the other ones before.
Yeah. Then I think you were talking about other skills from cloud
Yes,
computing to AI.
yeah, they all fall under coding.
Others falls
So
under
that's
coding.
another thing too. So if you want to, let's take a step back and talk about coding for a minute. The thing about coding, people should realize this thing too. As a coder, it's the initial upfront investment in being a coder is a bit high. And when I say high, I'm not exaggerating. As a coder in Nigeria, so what we're doing on this podcast and what we're trying to do, we're trying to talk about skills that not just apply to you as an individual. We don't know your entire situation, but as an individual in Nigeria, like the average Nigeria. And what I would say as a coder in Nigeria, it's not entirely easy to get started or to get uh very to get profitable as a
Coding.
coder, because there's so much you have to learn. There's so much you need a standard laptop, like we said, which is within that range of 75 and above. You need steady internet subscription, and you need to do this thing for like maybe 6 months to a year consistently to be able to like build up enough reputation before you can start
Yeah.
getting jobs. And most of the jobs as a coder, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on this, but they are not as lucrative as the jobs for coders outside the country. And the coding economy in Nigeria is not that buoyant yet, but I believe we're getting there. As time goes on, things would change and things would improve. But for now, being a coder in Nigeria is not entirely easy. So, but you should get started regardless. If it's possible for you, if you've looked at your situation and you can tell that okay, I can't do this, I can do that, like, to get started, you should just get started and just start learning, just like what we're doing on this podcast. Most of our listeners, I don't know if you are listening to us, maybe you may be worried about the quality, but we're just getting started. As time goes on, I believe we would improve, we would get better, we would provide you more value, create more better episodes, but we're not letting our circumstance dictate what we should do right now. We're just getting started. So sorry, maybe I just get
Yeah,
started. So maybe
just
I
get
took too long
started.
to explain that and I deviated a bit. But I just wanted to get that out there. Like, yeah, it won't actually be easy for you to learn these skills that we're talking about. But you really should just get started nonetheless. So is there anything you would like to add, Marcus?
Yeah, yeah, just invest your time to it and see where it leads. But it's something that
Mm.
you have the knowledge. It's something that's going to
Yeah, and
help you
that's
in so many ways. So even with the difficulty in starting, once you have
exactly.
kicked off, you
So
have kicked off.
that's be consistent, invest your
You just
time.
need to invest your time to it, be consistent, and you will enjoy it
Exactly.
because it's a
So
very
that's
interesting
just
word.
all we are going to say today. Uh, we've really covered everything on the list. Uh, if you just run through it again, just one more time for people that haven't clicked on the link to just
Okay, so we are saying for you to learn a tech skill and an online skill, mostly you need a laptop. Last week we talked about the ones you can do with just a smartphone. Today we are saying you need a laptop, a data connection to advance to coding and other online
exactly,
businesses you can go into.
exactly.
Coding now is you learning something that is going to be
So
productive in the long run. It's very interesting. It's something you get degrees from to even
exactly.
increase your resume.
It's
So
really,
it's
yeah, it's exactly, it's really
just
just
go
all
into
about
that
coding.
and
If
other aspect.
we want to wrap up this episode today, we're just emphasizing so much on coding, the benefits of it, and yeah, if possible, yeah, the challenges you might meet
The
as a coder.
challenges you might meet.
Like what most people won't say is like, oh, uh, they will just tell you the rosy part. Like once you go on YouTube now, I don't know, you may not see so many Nigerian YouTubers telling you about their journey on coding. So we're just trying to say like in our own experience and in our own time around here and most of the coders that we've seen, and this is just how it is here. It's not as lucrative as it is over there.
It is,
So,
yeah.
and it's also very expensive to get started. But if it's something that you want to really pursue and you really want to try out, like you should just get started and try and just try and do it, regard whatever the case may be. So let me just yeah, the end of
That
our
brings
episode for
us to
today.
the end
So
of
let me just run through the 30
today.
skills we have here: coding, Excel skills, language skills, Adobe Photoshop skill, photography, writing, chatbot development, search engine optimization, budgeting, project management, public speaking,
Optimization.
graphic design, social media marketing, leadership skills, Microsoft Access skills, math skills, US design skills, digital marketing skills, typing skills, email marketing, video production skills, podcasting skills, Microsoft Word skills, accounting, programming, accounting skills, programming languages, cloud computing, human resources, word processing, ethical hacking, and resume skills. So these are everything, and we've looked at some of the ones that are applicable to us here in Nigeria, and some of the ones you can try with a low budget, and some of the ones you can try if your budget is much higher. So, Marcus, can you wrap up?
All right, so that brings us to the end of today's episode. We hope we have been able to teach you one or two things, give you something to look into the various things we've talked about. We hope you can just look into one of them and see your interest, where you'll be interested in. All what we are just doing, we are no experts at any of these feeds. We are just giving our own opinion on how on things that we can do as youths
Exactly.
to better our lives and our society. So we hope that we take the initiative to start doing something, start advancing ourselves, building capacity
Exactly. Thank
in
you.
the
So that's the
workforce.
point of
Thank you.
everything that we're doing here, trying to advance ourselves and build capacity. I like the way you put that. So, we hope to see you next time on our next talk, and we also hope to have a guest come on board to talk about their work and their business and what they are building.
Yeah. So as usual, drop a comment, a suggestion, whatever you want, constructive criticism. Just whatever you think we
Exactly.
better youths in Nigeria
Exactly.
especially. And then the world.
All right. Thank you.
Just
Have a
do
nice
that.
day.
Thank you.
Bye for now. Yeah.
Bye for now.